what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome back to once again another episode of the 2016 NFL season predictions. How is everyone doing today? I am doing good. So once again, this is going to be another unedited video, but it's going to be a little bit more peppier than the last unedited video, just because I don't have the time to actually put it all together, all the past predictions that we had for last week and the music and stuff. I'm just going to put an intro in front of this and call it a day. So don't you worry. We will still have the usual longer episode. We're not going to cut it short or anything like that. So welcome back, everyone. It's been 5 weeks into the season, and I have a few kickoff topics that I want to talk about. One that will actually we'll be discussing, and I'll have a question about it. But the first one I want to start out with is, before we actually move frames here, I want to just talk about the NFL right now. And does anyone else feel, maybe it's just me, that the NFL is really off to a slow start this year? I mean, there's been times where the games have been pretty good, but I don't know, there's just something weird about this year. I'm not getting the absolute love of the game that I usually am getting. I just don't know what it is. What I have been enjoying a lot has been college football, and I've made the argument lately that I've been enjoying college football a lot more, and I'm starting to like it more. But I mean, I've always loved for the past few years, I've loved the NFL and loved everything that had to do with it. And right now, it's just kind of been lagging. It's just been not. There's not enough star power, I guess. The quality of the games tend not to be that great. It's a lot of different things. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess I want to ask other people's opinion. Do you feel like the NFL's off to a slow start? And if so, where can they change it? I think that there's a lot that needs to change with the NFL. And I think that there is a lot of issues within it. And we don't have to get into it right now. I prefer not to. But I think that the NFL is right now at a point where it reached its peak within the last few years, and now it's kind of slipping. TV ratings are kind of going down for the games. There's a lot of games on every single week. Or rather, a lot of days that there is an NFL game. So I just think that in the next few years, as the CBA approaches, we may see a change in pace, a change in certain rules, possibly a new commissioner, hopefully. I mean, we'll see. I don't hate Roger Goodell like everyone else does, but I just don't think that he's been doing that great of a job. And if you're not doing that great of a job, I mean, then you don't keep your job at that point. I mean, he hasn't been doing a good job for the players, but he's definitely been doing a good job raking in money. But if that slips at any point, I don't think the owners will be happy. So we'll see. I'm just kind of spelling out things I've had on my mind in terms of what's been happening in the NFL. I'm hoping that it starts picking up. We have a great lineup of games this weekend, so I am sure that I will get my confidence back in this league and how much I love it, how much I love the sport. So let's move on to the actual kickoff topic for today. And who else do I want to talk about? The Vikings are the only remaining undefeated team, and they're going into their bye week, so they're going to be undefeated through week 6, and that's pretty awesome. It's remarkable. It's unbelievable. Being without two of your most famous players at the moment, and you are now just dominating people with your defense, and your offense is moving up and down with no problem. Everything is clicking with this team, and it's awesome to see that. But I do wonder how are they doing this? How is this coming together? And I know a lot of people might say, oh, well, maybe they haven't played as tough of teams. I don't know about that. I feel like they've played I mean, like, look at the Panthers right now. The Panthers are 1-4, but I still think that they have the tools to be great. And the Vikings were able to beat them fair and square. The Texans, I think, are a decent team. Their two losses, to be fair, were against the Patriots and then this team, the Vikings. And the Vikings beat them well. So to me, I feel like this team has done, and they beat the Packers. The only loss for the Packers this year has been against the Vikings. So, like, I just think that there's so much good that this team has been doing. And I have a lot of confidence in them. Maybe not to run the table, but to really make a strong push for the playoffs, if not the Super Bowl. And it'll be fun to watch. But my question to you all today is, and it's kind of off topic, but we've had a lot of injured players this year. A lot of injured players, including Teddy Bridgewater and Adrian Peterson of this team, even though they've been successful without them. My question is, which injured player do you miss the most right now? For me, I mean, I've always enjoyed J.J. Watt. I love the idea of turning on Texans games and seeing him wreak havoc, and have offensive lines just absolutely just no longer exist after a J.J. Watt outing. So I'm gonna miss him this year, and it's a shame. I think it's a real shame that he's out. And the Texans, they've been 1-1 without him thus far. So that's not a really good reading yet. But I mean, I still think they're gonna miss him. I said it in previous episodes. I don't think they're gonna miss him as much as other maybe other players, but he's just so much fun to watch. I'm definitely going to miss him for 2016. So is there any injured player that's currently on the IR, that currently is out for the season, that you miss and you would like to see back sometime soon? Let me know in the comment section down below. So let's move on to the bye week for this week. Let's talk about some teams. We already talked about the Vikings. You know, they like I said, they beat the Panthers. They beat the Texans. Who else have they faced thus far? They faced the hold on. I have to think about this because it's been a little while. Well, they faced the Giants the last week as well. They beat them. And I don't know. They have done so well, especially on defense. I don't know when this team will slow down, but one game I'm looking forward to watching is next week. Vikings, Eagles. That trade that started this weird season and has put these teams at a combined 8-1. There you go. Or 7-1. I'm sorry. No, wait, 8-1 because these guys are 5-0. Sorry. A combined 8-1. That's incredible. I did not think the Eagles were going to have a winning record, and I did not think the Vikings would be this successful out of the gate without their star players. So that is ridiculous, and hats off to the Vikings. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers beat the Panthers at the Carolina last week, or this past Monday, and that is awesome, I guess. I mean, you don't even know anymore. The Panthers, they've lost to so many teams now. I mean, is that even a great feat for the Buccaneers? I'm not too sure, but props to them. They pulled out the win, and now they get to rest. These guys need a kick in their step, and I guess the Panthers win going into the bye could help. But I believe the following week they are taking on the Niners, actually. So never mind. That might be all right for them. But then they have to take on the Raiders, which could be a fun game to watch, maybe. Then they have Thursday Night Football against the Falcons. So that is going to be two really tough games that they have to face, but luckily they get a bye and then maybe a bad Niners team. We'll see how the Niners are with Colin Kaepernick as the starter, but we'll see. But hey, Buccaneers, you're 2-3. Even though you're below .500, you should be all right. So we'll see what happens with them. Let's move on now to last week's predictions where we went 9-5, and now I am 47-30 on the season. That means if we go 0-15 this week, I'll still have a winning record. So that's nice, right? So yeah, 47-30. I still wish I could do better. And I would be interested in actually looking and finding out how where I was at last year, this in comparison to how I am right here. But right now I'm on a good track, so let's hope that we can keep this momentum going. So with that being said, let's move on to the predictions themselves. Thursday Night Football, Broncos against the Chargers. And this is going to be the most colorful, my favorite color rush matchup, I think, ever. The color rush I've never been a big fan of, but this is going to be a good one. Gary Kubiak, I hope he gets well soon. He went down with a migraine. Went to a hospital, and he's going to be recovering, so he'll be back by next week, hopefully. But he will not be coaching this game. To be quite honest with you, I don't know who the interim guy is. I know he's related to Don Reeves, but that's all I know. That's all I remember. Look, the Broncos, they had their first loss on Sunday to the Falcons, and kudos to the Falcons, by the way. What a fantastic win from them. But the Broncos, they need to rebound. They need to have a good game. Trevor Siemian's back. So maybe they can get their momentum back going. And the defense has always played well, and I think will continue to play well. The Phillip Rivers offenses have continued to play well for the first 3 quarters and then completely lose it in the fourth. My God, this Chargers team is, they're pretty okay in the first 3 quarters. And then they just lose it. I don't understand what this keeps happening. They're this year's Giants. They're the 2016 equivalent of the 2015 Giants. They are just keep on blowing leads and close games. And it's ridiculous. They need a win, but I don't think it's gonna come this time. The Broncos will come out with the victory. All right, Niners, Bills. So, the Buffalo Bills go into Los Angeles, get the win. Was surprised that that happened, even though I predicted it. I felt like I was worried that I was like, all right, let me make this bold prediction. Let's say the Bills win it, even though they just came back from an 0-2 record. They're 2-2. Maybe I'm putting too much confidence in them. But I was surprised and happy that my prediction was right. The Bills came out with the victory, and they beat a Rams team that was often kind of confusing. Like, what was with the fake punt? I don't know why they did that. It didn't work out. It just doesn't make any sense. So, this time around now, their offense is going. Their defense is going to hopefully get better. Marcel Darius better be back this time. And now you have a Niners team that is now with a new starting quarterback in Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick back in the forefront at quarterback. And with all the storylines that he's been brewing with kneeling during the national anthem, now he's really going to be put in the spotlight now. He's really going to be at the forefront of things. You have to wonder if this team now, with him under center, if they could actually get something going. The defense is not terrible for the Niners. They're injured there, but they're not terrible. The offense is where there's a lot of problems. Chip Kelly is able to run a college-style offense with someone like Colin Kaepernick, who in the past has been known to be a dual threat. Now, he isn't the quarterback that we've known back in 2012, but he still, I'm sure, has something in there where if he has the right coach, maybe it is Chip Kelly, he can flourish. And this could be a very close game at the end of the day. This could be, Colin Kaepernick could have a game for himself. But right now, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. And my God, again, as someone who had so much doubt going into the season for the Bills, I'm so happy for them that they have completely proved me wrong, and that they're now having a better season than what they originally started with. All right, this is a fantastic matchup. I love NFC East rivalries. To me, I know everyone gets sick of the NFC East. As someone that roots for a team in the NFC East, I just like the rivalries. I think they're always fantastic. It's the Eagles against the Redskins this week. Both one coming off their first loss of the season, and the other coming off of their third straight win. Redskins beat the Ravens in a close one. It almost was a loss by like 1 point, but the Ravens failed to actually get 2 feet into the end zone for that touchdown at the end. So Redskins, they're competing and they're getting back into it, but now they have to face the Eagles, who have had great momentum up until last week, where the Ryan Matthews fumble changed everything. I still think right now that the Eagles are the better team, but it doesn't matter, because it's a flip of a coin when it comes to this stuff. You never know when it comes to divisional rivalries. But for me, I'm going to go with the Eagles, because I want a 4-1 Eagles to face a 5-0 Vikings next weekend, because that's going to be amazing. All right. Browns at the Titans. A lot of people are probably going to look at this matchup and be like, hell no, this is not going to be the game that I watch. I mean, look, the Titans, to me, they showed that they have a little fight in them. That they're not going to just let the season go away and just go into next year. No, they are going to fight their asses off. And to me, the Titans, by all stretch, have the offensive capability and some underrated defensive capability to play in these kinds of games against shitty teams, okay? I was getting somewhere, right? So the Titans, to me, I think, are a team that I don't think they're going to ever be able to beat a title contender, but they will definitely always play tough against either slightly better teams than them or slightly worse or way worse teams. You know, like I think that they have a range of, like, they're not going to be a playoff contender, but they'll be everyone else. They have the potential to. So, they came close week 1 against the Vikings, so who knows? For me, the Titans have all the potential to win games. And the Browns, I don't even know what's happening with the Browns. I don't know if Cody Kessler is going to be playing next week, or if it's going to be Kevin Hogan, that they just brought up from their practice squad, or if they're just going to bring back Charlie Whitehurst again after cutting him, because who knows? I don't know what's happening with the Browns team. They're always confusing. But I will say this, if there's any game the Browns can try to win in this season, this is going to be one of them that they probably should win. But I'm going to go with the Titans nonetheless. All right, Ravens and the Giants. Odell Beckham. Last week I trashed him a lot, and I regret doing that. But the Odell Beckham he's a good sport. He's a good sport after everyone going after him. He's able to make fun of himself, and that whole hugging of the net thing really restored a little faith in him that I thought was initially lost. You know, I still think he was definitely better in the Packers Giants game, and I think that he is starting to learn to kind of try to control his emotions and everything. And I think that is a great step forward. I don't think that he should try to be anyone that he's not, but I do think that in order just to keep your head in the game, to not let people like the defense get to you, and that was really the point that I was driving home last week. And he did a good job last week, and I hope he keeps that up because this Ravens defense is going to be tough to play against. They have been really just they are what has been winning the Ravens games. Now, the last 2 weeks, that has not been the case because the offense has not really been getting going. And that is why Mark Trestman got fired. He was the offensive coordinator. So maybe there'll be a change this week. Maybe we'll see a more, high-powered offense and the high-powered defense combined, and they can barrel through everyone. For me, I just think the Ravens team right now is in a better shape than the Giants. So the Giants will continue their losing streak. Ravens will win. All right, Panthers Saints, another divisional matchup. This game was fantastic last year. The Panthers at Saints game was fan-freaking-tastic. An absolute just offense, defense, special teams, like clusterfuck of fun. It was so great. It was one of my favorite games of last year. I'm sorry, there was actually no defense. What am I saying? It was just a clusterfuck, and it was so much fun. Will it be that this year? Well, I don't know, because I think this time the Panthers both of them are just in rough shape. Both of these teams, they're in really tough shape, and they need a big win. One of them needs it. It's hard right now to see the Panthers coming back from this, but the Chiefs did it before, and I'm sure the Panthers can do it. This time around. So, right now, to me, both of these teams have parts of their teams are definitely, they're playing at a high level, but then there's parts of the team that isn't, and both of them need to get their act together. The Panthers, I still think, are the better team on all phases, so I'm going to go with them to win this game. All right, Jaguars at Bears. Another game that could be probably avoided. The Jaguars, they got a big win against the Colts. And if you want to go with the formula of Jaguars beat the Colts and the Colts beat the Bears, which means that the Jaguars should beat the Bears, right? Well, we can't really guarantee that because the Bears offense has been doing pretty all right. They've been doing pretty all right with Hoyer. I'm just very happy about that. I think that's awesome. That has just suddenly been a thing. The Bears have been doing pretty well at offense. Defense, of course, it's all right. they're doing okay. So it's gonna be. I think this could end up being a shootout, but I think the better team is the Jaguars. So I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. All right, Rams at the Lions. Rams lost last week against the Bills. Lions won against the undefeated Eagles, or the formerly undefeated at least. Lions have the momentum on their side now, obviously. They got the big win after forcing the turnover at the end of the game and getting, I believe it ended on a field goal. I believe. I can't remember now. And the Rams now, they need to get their heads back in this, and they need to come into the Ford Field, and they need to win this winnable game. They need to get their defense back in order, and they just need to get momentum going again. So it's tough, and I want to pick the Rams for this, but after seeing the shit show that Jeff Fisher put out there last week, I gotta go with the Lions. I think the Lions could be an underrated favorite for this game. I just think that this team, I just thought the Lions would be better this year than in 2015. Just based off the way they entered it with that 6-2 run near the end of 2015. So with that being said, I'm going to go with the Lions. All right, Steelers, Dolphins. This is not much of a comparison right now. Dolphins lost last week to the Titans. It was a mess all around. A bunch of starters were out for it. They just couldn't get anything going. It was close at the end of the day, but it was not good enough. And the Steelers have just been dominating teams. Steelers are going to win this game. All right, on to Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati Bengals at New England Patriots. Now, this is the big... This could be a big playoff match or playoff preview if the Bengals get their act together. But you know me, I cannot pick against the Patriots. Tom Brady he came in and he ripped the Browns up like I thought. Not as much as I originally thought. I was just thinking it was going to be a 50-burger. Didn't happen, but Patriots, they got the job done on offense. And they got the job done on defense. They definitely need this win. This would be a big win for them. The Bengals, after being blown out by the Cowboys, it's tough to see them coming back and coming into this week and beating the Patriots. I just don't see it happening. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots. All right, Chiefs at the Raiders. This is the start of 3 fantastic 4 o'clock games. I'm so excited for the late afternoon games. The Chiefs are 2-2 coming into this week. They're coming off of a bye week, but before that they had that blowout loss against the Steelers. Can they come back? Can they get back their momentum? And can they, for the momentum for like the week before they were completely destroyed the Jets, even though the Jets basically were throwing interceptions to them as gifts, essentially. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a terrible day, but the Chiefs, to me, they could still play at a high level. This is going to be a very tough opponent for the Raiders, but the Raiders. They've been playing fantastic. They had a close one against the Chargers, to be fair, but things are starting to look better for this team. The only thing is that they need to get their defense in order. Can they stop Alex Smith and that offense? This is a tough one for me. I think this is going to be a very close game, but I'm going to go with the Raiders. All right. Falcons, Seahawks. It's the Dan Quinn revenge game. Falcons beat the Broncos in epic fashion too. It was like surprising how well they were able to read what the Broncos were doing and being able to be like, yeah, no, we're just gonna drive right through your defense. I don't care. The Falcons got the win, and the Seahawks are coming off a bye. They're relaxed and ready to go. This could be a fun game. I think it's going to be fantastic. But it can really go either way. It's going to be another one of these offense versus defense battles. I think the offense for the Seahawks has been playing pretty well too. But I also think the defense for the Falcons has been playing pretty well. Vic Beasley has been the star of that team lately. I don't know. He's going to wreak havoc on that Seattle offensive line too. Just saying. I don't know. This is going to be a tough game. It'll be a fun game to watch. I'm going with the Falcons, though. Dan Quinn gets his revenge. All right, Cowboys and Packers. Another great game ahead. This could be, I guess you could say, the Dez Bryant revenge game. That you finally get to see it now that Dez Bryant's actually playing in this game. This could be a very fun game against a Packers defense that really has been what's been winning the Packers games, and against a young but very dominant Cowboys offense. Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott they are both absolutely ridiculous. They have been playing amazing. I don't know what's been happening, but they've just been absolutely kicking ass. And I tip my hat to the Cowboys and their general managers for picking 2 dynamic offensive players to run this team. And, having them both play well, even with Tony Romo's absence. And look, say what you want. I think would be just so much better for the Cowboys if they kept Dak Prescott in this game in their as their starter, just because you don't want to hurt that momentum. What if he wins out, right? What if he wins? I believe they win next week, and I believe after that they have a bye, and then they go in. Let's see. Hold on, I might be wrong about this. I'm just gonna check real quick. Yeah, they have a bye next week, right? And then they return week 8 to face the Eagles. Do you really want, if you win against this Packers team, you're at 5-1. Do you really want to give this team back over to someone else? I just don't see why that would work out. I understand that you may think that Tony Romo is the better quarterback between him and Dak Prescott, but I just think that if they dominate on Sunday, if they have a really good game, you have to start questioning whether or not, if Tony Romo should even get back in there. Because the last few times that he's been in there, when he's came back, he's barely made it through games. The last full game that I remember him playing in was against the Dolphins in late last year. But every other game that I've seen him in, he's gone down with an injury. And it's upsetting to see that. I hate to see that for Romo, but it's just, do you want to put him at that risk of being injured? It's not just about winning. Do you want to put him at risk of being injured again? Because he's not indestructible. He's not. He's. I don't want to say he's fragile, because I feel like that's really stretching it. But he's just able to get hurt so easily now. I would really hesitate with putting him back in. So I'm just saying, I'm an advocate to keep Dak as the starter. I just think you want to keep that momentum going. Anyways, between the Cowboys and the Packers right now, though, I think right now, Aaron Rodgers needs to come out and have a great game. And this is a game that you need to have you could have a big game. You could have a really good game here. They just need to get something going on offense, because I don't know what's been happening, but Aaron Rodgers has just not been playing well as he usually does. And the offense is not playing as well as it usually does. And I'm saying usually, meaning like back in 2014 they were playing phenomenal. So I don't know. This is such a toss-up to me. I'm going to go with the Packers, even though after all my talk about the Cowboys. I'm saying if they win on Sunday, you should keep Dak in. If they lose on Sunday, then I guess maybe you may want to try, Tony Romo at that point. But if Dak Prescott wins, you should keep him as a starter. But this is a toss-up game. I'm just picking the Packers because I just think that this team has the best. Again, it's a toss-up. I can't really give good reasons right now. The Packers, I think, are going to win. There you go. Whatever. Sunday night game, the Colts and Texans. God, I wish they flexed this with the with the Chiefs Raiders game. This is really. I don't know what to say about the Texans right now. I know a lot of people are shitting on Brock Osweiler. I don't want to shit on him really, because he's played against two good defenses. In his how bad he has played, he's played against two bad defenses, with the Patriots in week 3 and the Vikings in week 5. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think against a really bad Colts defense, this could really work out for them. Meanwhile, as for the Colts, like I said, they're playing terrible on defense, but their offense, they're showing some good signs. They're showing hope for this team, but nothing else is working. Nothing else is working for the Colts. They were able to win against the Bears, but it barely happened. So I'm going to go with the Texans. Just think that they're better on the defensive side than the Colts are. And Andrew Luck will probably outplay Brock Osweiler, but not by much. Alright, and then the Jets and the Cardinals. The Cardinals, to me, got their big win against the Niners. If they don't win this game, I don't know what game they can win. This is against a Jets team that, well, hopefully, first of all, they have Carson Palmer back, right? Arizona. But if they can, all they have to do is throw the ball in the air, and a wide receiver will come down with it. They have such a plethora of wide receivers that the Jets' secondary just has not been playing well. This is an ample opportunity for the Cardinals to get a big win. A big win. So I don't see the Jets winning this game. I just think the Cardinals are a better team on all layers. I don't think that there is, as I love Brendan Marshall and Eric Decker as a wide receiver duo, but Larry Fitzgerald, Michael Floyd, you have John Brown, J.J. Nelson. They've all played awesome. You can't go wrong with any of them. They're just an amazing group. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I'm sorry. There's no way. I don't think the Jets are gonna win it. All right. Well, that's it. 36 minutes of me just talking and talking. I hope you all got through that well. I've been sniffling the entire time. I don't know why, but thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next week when we find out how we did. Should be a good weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Bye-bye.